high about the whole scene, loves me like I'm brand new. So call it what you want, yeah, call it what you want to.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my personal YouTube channel. I know it's been a minute and you might notice something different on my channel because I did private my first YouTube video. Yes, I did, and the reason why is simply because I didn't like how it wasn't pretty. Like, look at my background now. Like, isn't this so fun? Like, it's so pink, it's so me, and like, I just look good, I feel good, and I'm just happy to have a bright and pink and fun background. Let's get started. What we're doing today is I'm going to be ranking my personal favorite Ariana Grande albums from my least favorite to my most favorite. And there's no hate at all with these albums, like not at all. Quick disclaimer, I am an Ariana stan. I'm a Taylor stan, I'm a Selena stan, I'm a Miley stan. Who else am I a stan of? I'm a stan of a lot of people. I'm a Beyonce stan, I'm a Rihanna stan. I love my main girls. I really, really do. And I'm a Lady Gaga stan. I'm pretty much a stan of everybody. You could see me pretty much fighting every war I need to for these girls because they make music just so fun for me, especially because, you know, I'm growing on my music journey. But Ariana and Taylor are my two main biggest inspirations, and the only reason why I'm doing my Ariana ranking of albums first is because she has less albums than Taylor, so it's just easier, and plus I can't for the life of me rank Taylor's albums. Like, I've tried to just sit down for a minute and just try, but literally I just can't. But with Ariana's, I really did take a lot of time. I think it took me 45 minutes to an hour to really map out which ones were my favorites, because I guess we'll get into it, but there's two albums at the end that they are so neck and neck. I love all her work. I think they're all beautiful, and it's no shade to these albums at all. Like, it was really hard to rank them. I have notes, and look at all that. Look at all those notes I got. So without any further ado, let's get into it. My I'm gonna say least listened to, least streamed, is the Yours Truly album. And I feel like it's only because of a few things. And it's kind of a weird thing to explain. I feel like when I listen to Yours Truly, I think I just think back to who I was when I was like in middle school when it came out, and like middle school is just like a weird time for me, and like there's nothing wrong with the body of work of Yours Truly. I still think it's a masterpiece to this day. I just feel weird going that far back. I don't know. It's just something about it. And it's no shade to her, it's more like shade to myself. But I love Yours Truly. When I actually listened to it one time, because I love just listening to Ariana albums, just any album, but like I specifically like listening to Ariana Grande albums when I'm like putting on makeup or like going out or something. And I remember I put on the Yours Truly album when I was about to like go out and like go shopping and stuff, and like before I go shopping I need a really like good hype up album because I want to be like, ooh, like I feel good, like I gotta be in that mood to like spend my money, right? And Yours Truly, the album, it just makes me feel rich when I'm not. Like, I know it's a weird thing to say, but like, truly, it does truly make me feel rich. Like, I feel like I'm dancing with handbags, even though I'm not. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's just something about the Yours Truly album that just feels so rich and like pricey. And you'd think that like Thank You Next would make me feel that way, and don't worry, we'll get to Thank You Next, and it does. I think all her albums make me feel rich, but there's just something about Yours Truly that just makes me feel like bougie. Like, there's just something about it that just makes me feel so bougie, and like, I don't know, it's just a beautiful piece of work, and I feel sad that it's last, but you know what, it is what it is. it makes me feel so good, yet it's the one I listen to the least. But my favorites off this album is obviously The Way, Rip Mac Miller. I love Mac Miller so much, and I know I said I listened to this album the least, but the song The Way often comes on my playlist and often comes on in my car when I'm driving, and I know all the words and I'm just always screaming the lyrics. But yes, The Way is definitely my most favorite off this album. And then I love Almost Is Never Enough and Tattooed Heart. And yeah, that's the lowest. Honestly, next on the list is the Positions album. And let me just explain myself, okay? Listen, Positions, amazing body of work. She's happy. It's like a follow-up diary to Thank You Next. And I love a happy Ariana. I love it when Ariana is happy because, you know, as a stan, that's what you want to see. I guess the thing for me with Positions is that it's an aesthetic I'm not entirely used to from Ariana, because it's kind of soft and like, yes, Ariana has made soft songs, but like I feel like Positions has a distinct sound throughout the album, and I think she mentioned that she did that on purpose. I could be wrong, and there's no issue with the sound of it. I guess for me, like coming from a vocalist perspective, Positions doesn't have as many songs where I can just belt, like on A Dangerous Woman, for example, and I could just belt Dangerous Woman, you know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think I'm gonna cover some Positions songs from the album, but I guess it's just like not as, like, I like a good loud like chorus, like I love a good loud like explosive bridge, you know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with the album in particular at all. It's a perfect body of work. It truly is. Do not come for me. It is. It's just not something I would go to the most out of her discography, but I really, really did enjoy the deluxe edition of Positions. I really love those songs on there. But my favorites off the album ultimately are Nasty. Let me elaborate on Nasty, because a lot of the girls like to go for Nasty's neck, and let me tell you, I'm not okay with that. You know, Nasty does not deserve that type of hate. Nasty is such a good song, and like all these songs I'm about to list off Positions are bops, so don't think I hate the album, please, because I really love it. But Nasty, pure gold, love it. So my favorites are Nasty, Positions, Safety Net, West Side, and My Hair. I love her whistle tones in My Hair. Oh, it's so pretty. So number 3 on the list is actually My Everything, and I think I put this at number 3 because, like, this album, like, all her albums are perfect and so good, like, so good. Like, this is why I'm a stan, because, like, all her work is just so good. But I think with me ranking it at a lower position, like 3, comes entirely because I feel like I overplayed all of the tracks on this album. And you'd think, like, Christina, if you overplayed everything, then why isn't it your favorite? But, like, it's just truly because I think I really overplayed this song. Like, I was on a car ride to Canada, Montreal, actually. That's like a 14-hour car ride. I think I just simply overplayed it. And I know you may think, Christina, it's impossible to overplay an Ariana Grande song. And you know what? You're right, because, like, I still listen to the songs off this album, but I think it just got repetitive in my brain for a while, because I think I know the lyrics to, like, every single song on that album. My top favorites off My Everything are One Last Time, Break Free, Problem, Why Try, Just a Little Bit of Your Heart, My Everything, and the intro. Next album. I didn't really understand the Sweetener stans when they said that Sweetener was Ariana's greatest body of work at first. I really didn't understand them. I didn't understand. I guess it's just sometimes with some albums it just takes me a minute to really get used to what the artist wants me to feel throughout the album. So with Sweetener, man, I understand the Sweetener stans. I really, really do. Can we just talk about like when you think back to like when Sweetener was released, you know, it was summertime, everybody was graduating, or just like it was just summertime and school was out and everybody was just, I remember that being such a happy summer. Like, does anyone else just remember that being such a happy summer for them? Like, I genuinely, one of the best summers of my life was 2018 because that was when I went to college. It's just so beautiful. I love Sweetener. Like, it's just such a special place in my heart. But my favorites off this album are No Tears Left to Cry. Let me tell you, Sweetener brought me, like, this is how important Sweetener is to me. I know you guys are like, well, why isn't it number one then? But like, we'll get to that. But Sweetener really did bring me my favorite song of all time. Like, all time. Like, I have it as my ringtone, and the intro to No Tears Left to Cry is my text tone. Like, I love this song so much, and it, like, this was one of the most innocently happy times of my life when this song came out. And like, I was so thrilled that I got accepted into college and stuff, into the college that I wanted. And man, it was just such a good time for me. Like, I really love this album. I really love Sweetener. But anyway, enough of me rambling. My favorites off this album are obviously No Tears Left to Cry, God Is a Woman, Every Time, Pete Davidson, Breathe In, Raindrops, Better Off, Get Well Soon, Blazed, and The Light Is Coming. I know that there's a lot of hate in the fandom for Blazed, and I just want to let you guys know that you're wrong. Blazed is an amazing song, especially when you're happy. Like, let's say you had like a really good day. Like, let's say you were at work, someone tipped you good. Let's say you were at school, you got an A on your test, right? And then you get in the car and you drive home. You put on Blazed, and let me tell you, you will be bopping. Blaze is just it, okay? Okay. Before I continue on, I just want to tell you guys, I almost lost my mind between Thank You Next and Dangerous Woman of which one would take the number one spot. Like, I'm telling you guys, I love these albums so much. Like, I play them all the time, along with Sweetener and all the other ones, but like, it's so hard for me to choose which one is my favorite. Dangerous Woman and Thank You Next are like the best albums in my opinion, like, ever. And I know people are like, girl, but like, I'm being real with you guys. Like, I love these albums so much, like, so much. So Thank You Next is my second most favorite album from her. I think solely because I wish there were more songs on it. I think there's only like 12 or 14 tracks on there. And I know that like Thank You Next was such a blessing to her fans because, I mean, obviously it's her most personal album ever. And like, man, like, I can't even imagine the pain that she was going through when she wrote Thank You Next, like the whole album. But I just wish there was more songs on it because it's just that good. Like, I guess I just want to know. I know there's a lot of unreleased songs from Thank You Next. Like, I heard that was a thing. Like, I think there was another emotional song. Allegedly, I think there was another emotional song that was supposed to be on Thank You Next, but it just didn't make it. Like, I heard that that's a thing. I think it's called Remember, but that's just allegedly. But man, Thank You Next is just so good. So good. Like, that album is just so good. And it came at such a great time. Like, I was really like starting to find myself at school, right? I was trying to find myself, you know, as a young woman. And like, Thank You Next was just kind of there for me, bro. Like, you know how you have that album where it's like, oh man, you were there for me at that time. That's kind of what Thank You Next was for me for a while. And I just think the aesthetic is so beautiful. Like, my favorite colors are black and pink, like, honestly. So I just love Thank You Next. Thank You Next was just such a good album. So good. Like, man, I thank God every day for Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift because their music is just so good to me. My favorites off the Thank You Next album are Bad Idea, In My Head, Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored, Ghostin', and Imagine. Alrighty, so we are finally at my most favorite album. Okay, so Dangerous Woman. You guys, come on. Okay, can we all as a fandom collectively agree that Dangerous Woman is Ariana's best album vocally? Like, can we just talk? Like, the range of vocals are crazy on this album. Like, crazy. I don't even think there will ever be another Dangerous Woman, like, ever. Like, Dangerous Woman, that album is just so good. Ariana just straight up was like, let me have everybody's jaw drop to the floor. Like, she did not come to play. Ariana is just such a genius, and like, her vocals on every album, her vocals are insane. But Dangerous Woman, I think it speaks out the most to me vocally because I'm a vocalist. And when Dangerous Woman, the whole album, when any of those songs come in the car, I harmonize with all the vocals, and I just have the best time singing along to the Dangerous Woman album. And there's so many songs, and it's just so beautiful. Like, I love the Dangerous Woman album. And can we talk about the aesthetic? Like, I don't know, there was just a different type of aesthetic that I loved so much about Dangerous Woman. And like, I think I incorporate a lot of the Thank You Next aesthetic and the Dangerous Woman aesthetic like into my actual style, like just being myself. Man, Dangerous Woman is just such, is it wrong of me to say a pivotal moment in pop music? Like, I just really love the Dangerous Woman album so much. Like, I think it really helped me grow as a vocalist, like, to be honest. Like, and I can't thank Ariana enough for that, because Ariana Grande and Beyonce are definitely, and Rihanna are definitely the women in music that, and Miley, are the most that I look up to when it comes to vocals wise. Like, I think their vocals are insane. But I swear, I have never heard anything so vocally powerful in the way that I personally enjoy, like the Dangerous Woman album. And I guess that's just that. Like, and it really disappoints me that the fandom doesn't give Dangerous Woman enough credit, because I feel like Dangerous Woman helped shape Ariana's career in a different, I feel like a Dangerous Woman helped turn Ariana Grande's career into like a whole different direction and had people see her in a new light. And she kind of shed that good girl image around the Dangerous Woman era, I feel. But man, Dangerous Woman is just so good. It's so good. Honestly, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful body of work. This album is just so clutch, like such a moment in time. But yeah, I'm just so in love with Ariana's career so much. But my favorites off the Dangerous Woman album are Into You, Dangerous Woman, Greedy, Side to Side, Bad Decisions, and Let Me Love You. I feel like Let Me Love You is very underrated in that album, I will definitely say. And Greedy, I feel like Greedy is also very underrated. But yeah, those are my favorite Ariana Grande albums ranked. I love her work. I highly respect her so much. Like, she has impacted my life so greatly, like in every aspect. Like, I didn't think that she would even affect what type of perfume I wear every day, but like, girl, I'm a stan. I'm a stan, and I will always be a stan. But yeah, you guys, those are my favorite Ariana Grande albums ranked. I definitely plan to rank Taylor Swift albums in one of my future videos. Could be soon, could be later, I don't know, but man, I just love Ariana Grande. And so yeah, stream Dangerous Woman. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
So call it what you want, yeah, call it what you want to.